2 is half diminished, E minor 7 flat 5, that's the same as G minor 6, just an inversion. That helps me out quite a bit for soloing and for doing stuff like this. Connecting these chords, those are all G minor 6. So again, knowing these patterns is really nice. E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 and then D minor. Okay, these little patterns. And if you want to create a bass line movement, what I did there was go E half diminish for 2 beats, and then G minor 6 for the other 2 beats, and then A7. Notice I'm playing a sharp 5 for 2 beats, and then I'm going to go to the 3rd degree and play a fully diminished, and that's C sharp diminished 7 to D minor 7. But remember, on the E7, I like that E7 sharp 5 to the 2, 5, and 1. And I'm just doing A minor 7 cowboy style. Generally when I'm down here, I would do A minor with the add 9. So we take that A minor triad, the 8, and go up a whole step to the 9 and refinger it. Okay. So listen to this with the A minor add 9. It's a little bit moody. I want a D minor 11. I want a G7 flat 5. I want C major 9. Maybe F major 13. Sharp 11. You know what I mean? So these are just some colors. Again, that wasn't planned out. I'm just kind of experimenting in my head. D minor 11, G7 flat 5, C major 9, F major 7 sharp 11, Blaze chord, E7 sharp 9, and then I raised it to an A minor triad. Anyways, and then I put a diminished turnaround, substitution. And then A minor 6. Again, that's one of the things I enjoy the most, is just improvising with chords. Just sitting there looking at the lead sheet, or, knowing the progression, and just messing around trying to connect the chords smoothly, and experimenting with different colors. The chart will say G7, but I might want to try G7 flat 5, maybe G13, maybe G7 sharp 5, maybe get a little bit more colorful, G7 sharp 5, sharp 9. Again, that's how you discover some really beautiful colors, going beyond what's written on the lead sheet. A minor with a 9. It's not A minor add 9, it's A minor 9, because you got the A, you got the G, the flat 7, you got the C, you got the B open, and the E open. That's your 9. So you get the 1, the flat 7, flat 3, that's what makes it minor. That's just a minor 7, by the way. But then it's these 2 open strings, the B and the E, that the 9, the B adds a lot of color. And this is very common in the Brazilian style. Open. So it's 0, 5, 5, 0, 0. You can bounce off the E string and go 1, 5, 1, 5. I'm using all 5 fingers. In classical guitar, you're not really supposed to use your pinky, but in this case, I'm going, and then I bounce to the low E. It's a nice way to set up the song, again, to create the mood. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. And I'm just taking Bossa Nova pattern number 2 there. You don't have to alternate the bass. I like to hear the bass move. And then one thing that I always like to share is take that 7 and go to the 6. So you get this. And then the other thing I like to share is to play around with the top voice. Add an A on or a B on. You get all these colors. Just now we have this. We started with this to this, but then we added the A on top, the first string, and then the B on top as well. To pluck it. And that 6th degree. Just mess around. That was a 6 with the 9. 6 in the here, and the 9 on the top. The 9 is actually doubled. So again, really fun. And make sure you stretch your hands too. These ones, I love those open string voices. And in Bossa, I tend to try a lot of open strings. And then check it out, these little hacks here. We have A minor 9, and then that E7 sharp 5 I showed you earlier. You can just keep these 2 fingers kind of in this shape like this. And then with the tune Autumn Leaves, but the composer, I'm going to do the screen share here. I always like to talk about this. Consciously was using this, but D minor 7, G7, C major 7, F major 7, B minor 7, flat 5, E7, A minor. That is the A section to Autumn Leaves. So what I often do is play the melody there to Autumn Leaves and see if my musical buddies recognize that it's, the same progression there when I'm playing. So again, it's exact same chord progression as the A section to Autumn Leaves. And the 2 is half diminished, E minor 7 flat 5. That's the same as G minor 6, just an inversion. That helps me out quite a bit for soloing and for doing stuff like this. Connecting these chords, those are all G minor 6. So again, knowing these patterns is really nice. E minor 7 flat 5. To A7, and then D minor. Okay, these little patterns. And if you want to create a bass line movement, what I did there was go E half diminish for 2 beats, and then G minor 6 for the other 2 beats, and then A7. Notice I'm playing a sharp 5 for 2 beats, and then I'm going to go to the 3rd degree and play a fully diminished, and that's C sharp diminished 7 to D minor 7. So you get this beautiful bass line, sounds like this. Or this. In Bossa style, but sometimes I'll just arpeggiate. Again, that's a great way to create some movement by just using inversions, basically. But I did use a substitution on the A7. I put that C sharp dim, which creates an A7 flat 9. That trick that we love to sub the diminished 7 off the 3rd degree, 5th, flat 7, or the flat 9. And here I'm going right to the 3rd. Is the same as this. I'm just refingering it down here. It's the same 4 notes, just a different voicing. And then I went to G in the bass. And then that A7. And then C sharp dim. And then here I'm going to do just a fun chord, kind of then good ending chord that I showed you last time. D minor 6 with a 9. But the first one would be this. That's that moving fifth. I call it the roving fifth to go. This is kind of a stretch, so don't hurt yourself. D minor, then sharp the 5, and then D minor 6, and then back to D minor. And if you want to omit the D, it creates less of a stretch. You could just think this shape here, which is like you're playing an A minor chord, but up here on D minor, it'd look like this. Here's D minor, D minor major 7, D minor 7, and then D minor 6. Again, I'm showing you this because I think it's a good chordal exercise to have in your bag of tricks. The chart will just say D minor for 2 measures. Of course, it might say D minor 7, but you could be inserting these cliches, again, be like this. This is the one that's tricky for most people. That's a D minor 6. And it just comes from taking this D minor. It looks like a bar chord, by the way. I'm not worried about the 5th, so I'm not barring. I'm not playing the 1st string at all, so I'm only hitting 4 strings. So don't worry about barring if you don't like bar chords. And then get the octave. So you gotta do this major 7. And now you have to bar to get this minor 7. And then the 6th one here, D minor 6. And if you really don't like that, then just go over to the 6th string root and do this. Just kind of hop over to the 6th string root, that's on the 10th fret here. And you can do something like this. I have to look, usually I don't like to look at the guitar when I play, but I have to look to make sure I'm on the 10th fret there. That's why I prefer not to move if I don't have to. So again, now is 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. I want to show you a really cool chord, kind of epic sounding. Instead of just this F major 7, I do this quite a bit, and it's using F major 7, sharp 11. It's very dramatic, but basically you're just taking the E chord like this and sliding it up a half step, but you got to get the F in the bass as well. And now you have, let's put it back into context, but here's that A minor 7 / G, and then F major 7, sharp 11. But I would practice it again.